Hey, Neil. Oh, what's up, Phil? What's up, man? Man, my stomach hurts, Neil. Damn, your stomach belly hurts? Yeah, my stomach belly hurts, man. Oh, hold on now. I'm not going to fall for it this time, man. A couple weeks ago, you tricked me with that turkey COVID thing, but I found out there's no such thing as tryptophan COVID, okay? You're not going to fool me this time. I'm sorry, man. I can't do the show, dude. This hurts really bad. I think I got to go to the hospital now. Oh, don't worry about your appendix, man. Phil, look, I heard you can get a new one if you switch to T-Mobile. You get it as a free gift. You just have to sign a contract for 12 months.
Coming to you live from the most organ harvesting corner of the internet, it's Late Night with Chill Neil. Tonight, Wednesday, December 16th, we have someone who's both ghetto and ready to turn a marionette into a real boy, Dugan Nash. And the most innovative person to ever put words on top of anime girls, Berto Onions, with special musical guest, Chill Neil. And now, here's your host, Chill Neil. All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of Late Night with Chill Neil. Tonight, we're going to start the show off with a kind of a unique situation because, as you might have seen at the top of the show, that Phil was trying to play sick again. He wanted to get out of doing the show. Well, it turns out that Phil's appendix was actually trying to escape his body. And in fact, it was successful. So we're going to take a moment now to see if we can reconcile these two so we can get this show back in business. All right, everybody, I want to welcome Phil and his appendix to the show. Thank you for being on the show. Can we talk about why you wanted to escape Phil's body appendix?
It doesn't work that way, Neil. My appendix, they had to take it out.
Man, you don't speak for me, thanks. I busted out of your boring-ass body like Andy from Shawshanks. You understand me? Huh?
That's very understandable, appendix. I find Phil's attitude to be oppressive myself. And I can already tell you are way cooler.
I'd be more hipper than a hippopotamus.
Isn't that an E40 line?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yup.
Pretty sure it is.
Man, all I know is I was all up in the cut, and then the doctors had to take me up out of his butt. You ain't knowing,
That's not true.
You're so uptight, Phil. Even after the doctor took this cool little motherfucker out of your butthole? Wow.
That's not how it worked.
I heard from my best friend the lower intestine you called me useless. Vibing on them pain meds got you acting all reckless and ruthless.
I am vibing as prescribed by my doctor. I'm not vibing on heavy machinery, though.
His doctor is future. He just wrote Percocet, Molly Percocet on the prescription. You're gonna be constipated from all that vibing, Phil. I don't want to be around for it anymore. I'm sick of you holding me back, mate.
I had no choice. You got too swollen.
I work out. It's my hot body. I do what I want. How about that? Yep.
The pain was too intense, man. You were bullying me.
Shut up, bitch! I'm on to bigger and better things. You understand me?
Yeah, I have to admit this, man. This organ looks like he can hold a groove. So what do we have to do to reconcile you two?
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, Neil.
Look here, I hate to agree with this dude, but I ain't going back in there, man. It's way too nice on the outside. You got the McRib, you got Baby Yoda, you got big old video game dicks, and the sun shining on my face.
Wasn't that last part from The Mask?
Well, what is Phil going to do without his appendix?
You can't put my appendix back in, and it's actually an organ that humans don't need at all.
You don't work like that. I don't need you. I got a collab coming up with 100 geeks. I'm gonna be the biggest thing to come out of Phil's ass in a minute.
Okay, well, in that case, let's get on with the show. Everybody, let's give a warm welcome to our first guest for tonight, Dugan Nash. Oh, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show. Mr. Dugan Nash, thank you for being here with us. How are you tonight?
Well, thanks for having me, Phil. Or Neil.
Yeah, Phil, we let him chill on the couch over there. I guess he's got enough painkillers to keep him for the next hour, I think.
That's good, that's good.
He probably needs them, but I think his appendix was right. He's probably going to have a hard time, squeezing one out this week. I'm going to have to get him some Metamucil.
So. That's my medical opinion. I'm not a doctor, but that is my medical opinion.
Well, speaking of your medical opinion, right off the bat, I just want to get something out in the air. Is it true? Are you the CEO of Antifa? Is that true?
That's true. Yes, I was appointed by the commander, uh, Joe Biden, of course, Comrade Biden, who, our fearless leader in our spread of all things great across the Catboy Maid, all that stuff. He's our visionary leader. So
Well, I
he
really want to speak
appointed
to
me.
the HR of Antifa. Do you know who I should reach out to? Do you have the correct extension for the HR of Antifa? Because I've been waiting on back pay for months now.
Yeah, I actually am not sure. I submitted some mileage reports to get reimbursed through the Soros Fund, and no
Exactly.
one's gotten back to me.
I've been protesting so much, I've not gotten any of my Soros bucks checks yet. I don't understand what's going
Nothing.
on. This is very
There's
problematic.
some sort of hold with accounting.
I do think
That's what they keep telling me.
I do think that the CEO on the air of the Chill Neil show could just go ahead and let us know that Antifa will give more than $600 back pay, because I don't think the U.S. government has anything on the CEO of Antifa tonight.
600 per day, actually,
Oh! And
for everybody.
do we also get penis 2 though?
3.
Penis 3. You heard it here, folks. First, make
It's
sure
just a combination of 1 and 2 at the same time.
get your political alliances in order this year, because we got Lord Commander Biden, but next year we're probably gonna have to elect CEO of Antifa, Dugan Nash.
True.
I do also want to ask you something that's very important, kind of an entry into this show, which is I would like to know: have you ever smoked weed in Amish?
Usually, yeah, that's the only place to do that here in Kansas, actually.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Do you have a lot of room for smoking weed in Amish in your home state? The only perfect rectangle in the union.
Am- Amish is like not too far. I could get there in about, I think it's an hour drive or less.
Well, that actually, man, I'm glad you brought up the great state of Kansas, because I've driven across it many times and never felt compelled to stay. For the amount of time that I could get out, I went as fast as I could. But
Yeah, I don't blame you.
there's a lot of homies in the meme community that hail from Kansas. What is it about? Where did the Kansas crew originate with all these meme pages?
I feel like the best memes come from like a certain level of depression, right? Like like if you're too depressed, you can't make anything. But if you're not depressed enough, like there's no content.
Wow.
So Kansas really churns it out.
This is revelation here to me, that you're saying that there's a perfect amount of depression in Kansas to make a great meme
For
page.
memes, yeah. Usually it's a tropical depression. This is a like a Midwestern depression.
Kansas is probably the furthest away from the tropical storms that you could get. I would
Yes.
think you guys are in Colorado. We're right
We get
there.
rain from it. That's it.
That's
like
it.
It'll be a light rain when it gets here.
Just a nice, a glistening fall. Let me go ahead and change the subject real quick, because something that was distracting my mind was that I know you got a lot of cats, and some of them are famous, and I'm just wondering, the real reason we put you on the show is because we wanted to see the cats. Can we please?
Let me see if I can get one of them.
Yes,
I can get at least one.
we definitely need at least one cat on the show tonight. Let's see if we can get it posted. Everybody get ready. Have your screenshots ready. I'm going to reach behind the pillow over here. Wow, he really had to go for one. And who do we have here?
This is Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill.
Yeah.
Oh,
You trying to go, buddy?
hi, Mr. Bill.
He's a good boy.
Now, is it true that Mr. Bill is probably more famous than anybody on the show tonight?
Yes, he's gotten a picture of him got like millions of shares. And I get tagged in pictures of him quite a bit.
I could understand why.
Still once a month, about.
I would love to give just a few pets or a nuzzle to Mr. Bill if I could. Could you hold him close to the edge of the screen for me, and maybe I can just reach over and just... All right, yes. Thank you so much. That was exactly what I needed.
He's a good boy.
It just warmed my heart. Well, thank you, Mr. Bill, for making an appearance on the show. This is our first pet appearance. And
yes, he's very excited. He has somewhere to be. He's got meetings, though.
He's got to go. It's understandable. He's the most notable guest that we've had so far, honestly. This might be the peak of the whole Chill Neil experience right here. But, you know, before we don't want to end on too much of a high note, because Mr. Bill is really giving me those warm feelings. I do want to discuss with you the world of meme and comedy. I'm going to flash some of your memes on the screen here. You are also known as the Ghetto Geppetto. And something I just wanted to ask you about, because it seems like it's a trend that ran over the last decade, was how, you know, certain meme pages would take a cartoon character and then like an adjective. And, you know, there's been so many of them now. Were you on the forefront of that naming scheme, like Ghetto Geppetto, or did you follow someone's lead on that?
Absolutely. My friend Daniel here in Wichita is Hood Pocahontas, and he was an inspiration. But also, Ghetto Geppetto was something that I heard someone call Gucci Mane. And Gucci Mane is someone to look up to admire.
I have a deep love for Gucci Mane, as I once went by the name Juicy Mane, which was directly inspired by Gucci Mane. So
everyone loves Gucci Mane.
I feel ashamed that I didn't know that was the name of Gucci Mane, but he has a lot of names. He has a lot of names.
That's true.
Appropriately for Christmas time, he is the North Atlanta Santa, or is it South?
East Atlanta Santa.
East Atlanta Santa? There's probably a Santa for each side of Atlanta, north, south, east, and west.
It has to be, yeah.
You would think so.
One of them is Young Thug, at the very least.
Well, hey, I just want to say thank you so much to Mr. Bill, but also Dugan Nash. Thank you for being on the show tonight. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. It's always such a pleasure to share the real. This is not exactly the meat space, but it's like the real space that we can discuss and see each other face to face. Thanks for doing this, man. I hope you have a great night.
Sure, man. Thanks for having me.
And make sure you holler at each and every cat for me. Give them a smooch, just right on their nose and their forehead for me, okay?
I will. I'll do that.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back with another guest, Mr. Berto Onions, after a short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Remember those classic hits? Great music songs that will last forever?
A doo-doo, darling. Baby, I don't wanna ruin the moment, but I shit my pants. Shit in my pants. I'ma keep on shitting my pants. I'ma keep on shitting my pants.
Music Song Music proudly presents all-time favorite music songs from Down Under. Of the biggest hits in music song history, 30 all-time classics for the special price of $12.98.
Oh, damn, baby. What's the smell? Oh, it's funky, yeah. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do in your pants. Yeah.
Of your best loved favorite music songs.
Baby, you already know what time it is. It's my time to use the bathroom. Go ahead and move out the way and grab
There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime.
We use the bathroom. Gonna stink it up. Gonna fuck it up. Gonna be squirting out some shits. Ain't nobody gonna stop it, 'cause it's
But the all-time favorite music song from Down Under collection is not available in stores. Please order now. To order all-time favorite music songs from Down Under collection at 720-893-0166. That's 720-893-0166. Or send only $12.98 for 2 cassettes or 2 CDs, plus $3.95 shipping to Music Songs Music, P.O. Box 42069, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Grumbling in my guts tonight, my doo-doo, and I can feel it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We got something very special prepared for you next here. This is a segment from the people over at Planet Earth. After they saw our bit about snails and fails, they really wanted to help contribute something to the show. So we got something special from, this is something special from Planet Girth. What does Planet Girth feel? What is Planet Girth? I thought you said Planet Earth was going to be on the show. All right, let's roll it.
Nature, a violent and fierce breeding ground where man finds himself outmatched by sheer girth. Many of nature's animals and manimals have found themselves in an absolute abundance of resource. These thick boys and girls have reached optimal capacity for making the perfect apex predators. Astonishing size, speed, and boundless agility leaves many of us awestruck and marveling at their massive size. These beautiful fauna drop megalithic-sized doo-doo, weighing in at an average of 69 girth units, or 420 kilograms. We cannot help but be overjoyed by these massive chonkers. Sporting dump truck-like features, these primal beasts leave a barren landscape as they pillage the lush microclimates in which they exist.
Planet Girth, everybody. That's right. Make sure you look for that show coming up on Sundays with the fattest animals in the game. But let's go ahead and welcome our second guest for the night, Mr. Berto Onions, a.k.a. Tapeworm. How are you doing? Thanks for being here tonight.
I'm doing good, Neil. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I love the shirt, the watermelon, and what does it say underneath?
Thank you. It's actually it says Standards. It's a band.
Oh, perfect.
They do music, which is good to listen to.
Well, I like
your
to start
ears.
this interview out with a little bit of an icebreaker. So just right off the bat, let me ask you, for you, is it Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle?
It's got to squirt. It's got to squirt. It's got to be Squirtle.
I love that question because even if people, I don't ever know if people play Pokemon or not. I didn't personally, but I think that the question about starter Pokemons can be related to in many different ways. For instance,
sure,
you
I feel
said
that.
it has to squirt. So
See, out of the old Pokemons, I think Mew was my favorite, but
I
love like all things water, so I'd be squirting.
Are you a long time Pokemon player? Did you get into it on the first generation or?
So my brother did. My brother had a Game Boy Color, and I didn't, but I watched him play Pokemon Yellow, and then I got a Game Boy Color, and my parents got me Pokemon Silver. So I started on the second gen.
Nice.
I played third gen, and then just kind of never really went after that. I do still have like Pokemon Stadium on 64, but
Wow.
I was kind of around Pokemon when it came out, and sometimes I get hyped for Pokemon shit, but I'm not like diehard fan by any means. But yeah.
I feel you because I didn't even know about Pokemons until Pokemon Go came out, and then of course there was years and years of lore and stuff that I missed out on. So
You gotta catch up, brother.
I'm trying to catch up. It's a whole different. There's just so many. There's like 1,000 Pokemon now. I don't know how I'm supposed to catch up. But I wanted to ask you, speaking of collecting, I mean, one of the ways that I got to know you, that's the funniest thing about doing this show is that the people that that I meet through the meme world is kind of different the way that we come to know each other personally. So I was just trying to say that, speaking of collecting things such as Pokemon, one of the ways that I got to know you was through your meme page, which is always funny to talk to the people on the show, because the way that we get to know each other as creators versus the way we know each other personally, I feel like it becomes very convoluted in the online world. Like maybe you follow someone's work, somewhere along the way you get to know them, and you don't even remember like how the world did I meet this person.
And then it just happens to be like 6 months to a year down the line, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's my friend.
Yeah, that dude's
and
cool.
we know each other. Fuck, I don't know.
So somewhere along the lines, I must have got to know you when you were putting words on pictures of anime girls, and I wanted to know like how many. I've seen your collections of figurines. Like how many collectibles do you have? Do you actually know the number?
I don't know the actual number. Sure, more than like 10 or 20, probably.
I thought it was going to be in the dozens, man.
Oh yeah, fuck, dude. I don't know. It might be about like, I'm gonna guess 35 to 40, maybe.
Nice.
And it's all right, I guess. It would be embarrassing if I got embarrassed about it, but I know.
Well, that's one of the things that I find so beautiful about the writing. Word, you may want to correct my phrasing, but I believe it was I write words on anime girl pictures.
That sounds about right. I think that was right.
It was such a fascinating experience for me to just watch and consume the media that you were creating that way, because it's a simple format and it's probably been done in some ways, but it was never really done the way I saw you doing it, because you were always, I felt like, very honest, which could come out in so many ways. It could be brutally honest and cutting. It could be wholesome. It could be cringe. It could be just hilarious for disgusting reasons.
It's just this spectrum of human emotions,
Yeah,
it's just
the complexity of your personality did seem to shine through such a simple format, and I think most people can relate to that as well. Like they feel very similar to what you say on most of these memes. How did you get to this point, like of creating this phenomenon?
So I guess I always feel like text posts. Just text, I think, is the superior format of anything. If reading words, if it can make you feel shit, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Like people digest fucking books, and most movies are adapted from a text that was written before and stuff like that. So I think just putting the thought in your head and it makes you feel something, I think that's pretty important. Excuse me. So I always thought just text posts were the best format, and I just had a bunch of backgrounds of anime pictures saved, and I was like, shit. I always felt memes were kind of cheating because it's so easy just to have a picture,
Yeah.
And anybody can steal it and just post it somewhere else and stuff like that. And I never wanted to do it. And then eventually I was just like, I'll just put them on there. People were liking it a lot, and they were like, oh, we should make a page for this. I was like, I don't know. And then I did, and then Yeah, that's just kind of how it went down. I do think it's interesting that you said the complexity of my personality kind of shines through that, because I feel like it's maybe I do have somewhat of a complex personality, but I feel like I'm very basic at the same time. That like, you give me a fucking fruit roll up, good times, man. It's just very simple to please.
Well, maybe that's what's important about if I perceive that complexity in you, is that it's in fact that most people are multifaceted, and most of us I just don't think are publicly honest about ourselves with everyone as we could be. Maybe that's what's really beautiful and fun about your format. Just to catch everybody up, if you've never seen Berto's memes before, I'll go ahead and start flashing some on the screen here. Now this is what I'm showing is like people can find you on Instagram under tape or at tape.worm. But this is essentially what you were doing with I Write Words on Anime Girl Pictures. And I think the story behind that page is fascinating because you may be able to correct some of the details. But just a quick rundown is that I feel like you started that page, you started doing this format, and it got like really, really popular really fast. Like within a month, I felt like you had like 40,000-50,000 followers or something. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I think it was about a month and a half or something like that it just somehow got up to like, I think it was like 35,000 or something like that. And I was like, dang, that's a lot of people,
it was a lot, and it was fast. It was crazy.
Yeah, and I was pretty surprised at like how much it caught up, but it's just like I don't know, people see a picture of a girl and they're just like, cool man, I don't know. I don't know what the format or the formula I mean to really make it happen made it happen, but I think it was definitely a time that because this was about like I think maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half. Time isn't real, it doesn't matter that much, but I feel like that's when anime kind of started really getting even bigger because I mean it's been on the rise, and I feel like now it's even more on the rise as far as like popular media goes and stuff like that. So I feel like it was just just kind of rode the wave and was surfing on it.
It was the perfect moment in time. But I don't think, I mean, we shouldn't just discredit the fact that the anime was popular, because I think, when you decided to stop doing it, because I remember there was a point in which I guess you were probably bored with it. Somebody was willing to buy the page from you and you were like, I'm out. And I thought that was also equally fascinating, because as soon as you did, the person that took over, tried to emulate your style in certain ways, thinking that they knew what you were doing. Some of it was really bad and cringe, and and it didn't work the same. And I thought that was really, really fun to watch, how you could do something. You didn't, have to like hustle so hard. You were just being honest, and it was clear in the way that your personality was a driving force, because it was somebody else took over. It didn't work, like.
Well, I would say that it still works in a sense. Like I do think that page is still building pretty well.
True.
I do feel like once you have a page that already has like a set foundation of like, again, like a certain amount of followers, even like 10,000 followers or whatever, like you can kind of just build with that forever and whatnot. But yeah, I guess, again, I just felt like text posts were so much the better format that I always thought like, man, you can just write like any combination of words and like people, if something is shown to you, it is already dictated as like a thing. So if you just see something that says piss cum or something like that, people are just like, for sure, man, like that is an absolute, and they're like, sweet, and it is. Back in those days, I used to just have a bunch of goofy thoughts, just you creating content you get to that you just have goofy ideas and you're like, fuck it, like we can just do it, so we'll just do it. So I would make a bunch of them at a time, like 30 or 40 in like an hour or two sitting, just chilling there, and I just have thoughts in my head and I just fucking tap them or whatever. But what I do nowadays is I try to put out 2 things a day, and just as soon as I wake up I try to do one, and then later on in the day usually I'm at work, and then like during work I think about something and just do that then. So I feel like it is especially now much more just showing me more, because I'm kind of forcing myself to do it in a good way,
Yeah.
But it's like putting myself out there like on a day-to-day changing basis.
No, I love that, and I think it's very relatable. We had one of our Happy Chemtrail homies on the show last week, and we were talking about how Mike Fellows, I should say, he was talking about how he doesn't just sit down and just try to write jokes. Usually, it's stuff comes to him, and he, in his day-to-day life, if he has an idea, he makes a meme out of it and posts it. And I think that's very illuminating for people that are interested in making memes or getting into comedy, and that how a lot of the best joke writers don't just sit down and find a formula. They have to live their lives. They have to live an interesting life. They have to do other things than just be on the internet to find inspiration to make jokes and memes, if you will.
And I just feel like for many of us, it's like if we're not putting this out there, like it just we'll die. Like it just sticks in our bodies, just like I gotta get this dumb shit out of me, otherwise I'll rot from the inside.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a type of catharsis, but it's also just as your person. I relate to that 100,000%. Like I'm doing this show because if I didn't do something like this, I would go completely insane, and all my loved ones would hate me because I would be a terrible person. So, yeah, very relatable. Something else I wanted to ask you about, this really kind of a different subject altogether, but, we've had this year of the new Animal Crossing game. It came out right as the pandemic started to get really bad, and, it was great for a lot of people that were stuck at home to be able to have this game where they dove into a new life on the island. And one of the things I enjoyed so much is, like, you seem like you probably played other Animal Crossing games. You were very knowledgeable right out the gate when the game came out. You had so many things that you did in game that I didn't even know existed. And that's kind of beside the point, because what fascinated me is it seemed like you played Animal Crossing to the point that, you were fishing on the island and then you wanted to go fish in real life. I mean, can you confirm, is that an accurate description?
Yeah, yes, it's pretty close. So, I will say I think Animal Crossing came out at the perfect fucking time, just because it was like literally first week of pandemic happening. It actually came out on Jade on my wife's birthday.
Oh.
And I got her a Switch, and because we both kind of wanted it, and I was like, dude, like we're both gonna want to hog it the whole time, so I'll just get you a separate one. So that was my birthday present or whatever. And literally that day, March 13th, was the day that like a lockdown basically just fucking happened right then and there or whatever. So it was just perfect timing, because it was like, well, you're stuck for like a month. Game just came out. It was perfect timing for that. But yeah, it was actually like the very first day of playing it that I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna fish, like this is awesome. And I just sat there fishing and whatnot. And I grew up in Mexico. I grew up very close to the beach and stuff like that. So I love like all things the ocean and stuff. And I used to go fishing when I was a little kid. But I mean, I just hadn't for a very long time. And I'm always like super fascinated by marine animals and marine biology and all this kind of stuff. I just love fish in general. Whales are like my favorite animal, and sharks were my favorite animal for the longest time. Like anything underwater, I just love it so much, And that on top of fishing so much in Animal Crossing, I was just like, man, and it goes kind of back to the beginning of this interview. You started about Pokemon. It kind of feels like Pokemon when you go fishing, bro. You just never know where you're gonna get, and you're catching this fucking creature. It's so amazing. So yeah, as a little kid growing up by the beach, I just loved marine animals so much that, at this point in my life, I've been landlocked. I'm in the middle of the United States, so no like ocean right next to me, and I just fiend for these water creatures and stuff like that. Like, culmination of it just makes me appreciate it even more, I guess. So yeah, that's part of where fishing for me was just so, the process of fishing, but for me it's all about the fish themselves. Like, I just think they're the sickest things,
Absolutely. I love that. I mean, I love to hear the bigger story behind it, just getting to connect to your childhood beyond, it just was me witnessing the Animal Crossing thing, but like the way that you have connection to the ocean, and then also being landlocked, all those things I can relate to like quite a bit, because I live in Colorado and the ocean is about as far as you can get from us.
Right. Right. And yeah, that just, again, it just makes me fiend for it. It's just like, man, we got to get us some fish. And I do think it is kind of weird that it's like such a, like, I don't know if this is racist to say, but like a redneck thing to be into fishing and shit. And I do see how that combination doesn't work. Well, I just don't get how it works. It's just like maybe they just drink beers and like enjoy doing it. But for me, it's definitely just so much about the animal that I just don't know like what these other people might be so into it for.
It's the closest thing that like rednecks have to meditation. Like they would never meditate, or they would never say that. But that's what's happening when you go fishing, especially if you're drinking beer and just sitting by the water for 30 minutes waiting for a bite. That's literally, it's the same as meditation, but they don't think about it like that.
That's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Thank you, Neil.
Well, before we let you go, I did want to ask about some other real world things, because we like to talk about internet culture on this show, but I know that you're a musician. I can see your guitars lined up back there, and I've seen several of your videos where you've got the finger tapping style on the guitar, which I'm always fascinated by, because that's something that is beyond my experience as a guitar player. And then you also play drums, so obviously, I mean, you've got all this at your disposal. And I think it was several months ago you were kind of talking about teasing the idea of maybe putting out an EP. Do you have any plans musically in the next year or two that we could look forward to? So maybe even a pipe dream that you have in mind?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely would like to keep doing stuff this year. Again, with the obviously pandemic and stuff, my workflow has kind of changed a little bit. That I was working a certain schedule, just kind of been moving, throwing around, and now working at a different area with a different schedule. But I'm going to go back at the beginning of next year to my old schedule. So my kind of workflow has been kind of weird and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep active. A big thing about like music for me is that I feel like every time that I just get into it, I get better every time, and I'm like, dang, like yesterday I was cringe, but today I'm not cringe. Today I'm good. It's just like, I am just so indecisive about stuff like that. But I do have a solid set of ideas that I want to put down and try to get out. Hopefully next year or something like that to really, I think that once I kind of put my foot on the pedal, it's like I can just go with it. But I am in such a state that I like, I've been doing music for so long, and now at this point I just feel like every time I do it, I like level up every time, and I'm like, dang, I don't know if I should do what I was doing before or now. And it's just, the music is so stupid because you can do anything, and anything can be music, and anything can be a song, and you're like,
it's the eternal
man,
struggle,
it's just so
like
much.
you.
Exactly.
And it's like you say, you get to a new level each time you go in. But I do think one thought I'll leave you with on that note is that I always enjoy the mantra, finished, not perfect. I think that's a good way to get past some of those hang-ups, because I'm the same as you, where I get in the studio, I start making ideas, and then I look back, I'm like, well, they could be so much better. I can't put this out. But then you get
Right.
stuck in the loop where you can't, you don't want to just be
Yep,
stuck.
nothing's ever done. And that's I think it was what's his name, Adam Neely, a very popular music YouTuber, was doing a live on Instagram, just Q&A and stuff like that. And I asked something along those lines of like, how do you kind of determine when your work is like done? How do you just know that you can move on to the next thing? And he said, he quoted, I think he said it was Leonardo da Vinci that said, work of art is never finished, it is only abandoned.
Absolutely.
And that's where just like, man, fuck you.
I think that's a beautiful thought, though, because it's true. I've been reading a lot of comedy books lately, just trying to study my craft some. And I think, in fact, Mel Brooks, he may have been attributing somebody, but maybe it was Da Vinci. But he was in one of these books I read saying the same thing, that a piece is never finished. It's just you just leave it behind because you have to go on. Well, speaking of which, it's time. It's time for us to wrap up this interview. Before we go, I do want to plug next week. We're going to have a couple more people from internet culture, Mr. Ronan Aurelia, also known as Steven Seagal, DVD box set, and then Shane Powell, also known as Bubby Toad, on Instagram. So check those guys out. Tune in next week. Berto, man, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It's such a pleasure to talk to you like this.
Thank you, Chill Neil, for being chill with me, because I feel very chill right
We
now.
keep it chill. I keep chilling on the rest of your evening, and then I hope that we can have you back on the show again sometime soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. I'd love to be back sometime. We'll see what we can work.
Hell yeah. Well, hey guys, you guys stick around. After a short commercial break, we're going to be having a special musical performance from me, Chill Neil. That's right. We'll be right back with you.
It was the coldest Siberian winter in space.
Заброшенный.
It was an experiment that tampered with the laws of nature. It went terribly wrong.
Заброшенный.
One man on a simple mission, but betrayed by ground crew, has led him far astray. No hope of ever returning. Now he must learn to keep it together, or he will be forever abandoned. He is alone in space with no help from the motherland. With satellite in disarray, he must find a way to repair the damages, or he will never see home again.
Эти блоки. Помоги мне. Эти блоки. Эти блоки. Эти блоки.
Deep, dark, and full of mystery.
again?
Will he see the loving face of his family? Will he see his wife again? Or will he remain abandoned? Заброшенный.
We the people of Kurgabing, in order to form a more perfect burger, establish flamboiled patties with quality ingredients stacked deliciously on a sesame seed bun. Because America loves it flamboiled. From sea to shining sea.
Yo, welcome back to the show. All right, everybody. Just want to say thank you very much for tuning in for another night of Late Night with Chill Neil and the homies. Thanks to Dugan Nash. Thanks to Berto Onions. Thanks to my writing room. Y'all the homies. Make sure you tune in next week because we're going to do it again. All right, guys. I'll see you soon.